Hello, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We have done a couple of things off camera. One of them being I have... Oh man, the music gets so loud. Can't hear myself think. One of them being I have... that did nothing, by the way. I have organized the Navy a little bit. By that I mean I've split up to like one squadron, which was the Squadron of the Line, I believe it was called. So I've made a first Squadron of the Line and a second Squadron of the Line. Which have all of our heavy ships. We have many of those, in fact too many, because we probably won't be able to use them for very long considering our oil situation, but they are just going to be on like a strike force order anyways. But the problem is we don't have many screens for those heavy ships, so I've split them into two so that I don't necessarily have to activate all of them at the same time, and that way we can probably end up, mitigating some of that problematic situation where we don't have enough screens to protect them. Now, other than that, I've done basically nothing. I have named... So I'm thinking we'll name the army groups if we have multiple. We probably won't, but we'll name the army groups after saints. So I've named this one after Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc, and we have the army group of action, or army of action, which is essentially like our SS, I'm guessing, because we have the Camelots, right, which I believe are our version of the... Well, I think they're more of our version of the SA, but that sort of became the SS, or like the more driven, I guess, ideologically driven, like part of the Nazi party, or their military arm, right? Like the Freikorps, many of them became the SA, the Sturmabteilung, and then many of them became the SS. But we have that set up, and we have the these guys who are named after what I believe the actual French Marines are called, and the First Army and the Colonial Garrison still. I'm trying to refrain from using too many French words. I will use, like, usually when I play Germany, I use German words and stuff because I know a couple of them, and I think I can passably pronounce them, but with French, I'm making the executive decision to spare the sanity of my French viewers and not, trying to pronounce too many of them. Anyhow, let's unpause. I haven't done much else really. We're still waiting for the decision. I did ask again what doctrine I should go down, and I'm going to have a final look to see if we get any bonuses to specific doctrines here, and I don't think we do. Yeah, we get support artillery stuff, and we get production bonuses for tanks and research bonus for heavy tank models, which is really good if we want heavy tanks, but we don't. Heavy tanks are really, really strong, but if we have a look at... And I've been having conversations about this with people in my Discord, because they're like, yo, heavy tanks are amazing. What are you talking about? If you look at the... See, first of all, only steel, which we have a lot of. Here we also need chromium, which we have none of, but we have 36 steel there and no chromium. Also, another reason that heavy tanks can suck is that if you compare the production cost of a heavy tank here at 25 and the production cost of a light tank here at 8. Now, heavy tanks also have the speed of, I believe, essentially infantry, 5.0 kilometers an hour, and I believe infantry are at like 4 point something kilometers an hour, and that essentially means that if you create a heavy tank division, it's going to have leg infantry in it usually anyways, and that's not a problem because most tank divisions have motorized or mechanized in them as well. But the problem is that then it really can't, and it couldn't anyways if you made it only heavy tanks, but it can't actually serve as a real like breakthrough unit. It can force the breakthrough, but it can't exploit it, because when you force the breakthrough, you've essentially like shattered a part of the enemy's line, and you can then start to push into them and take strategic objectives, which is obviously the entire point of warfare, is to seize strategic objectives. So let's say we are fighting over here, right, along the Maginot Line, and the heavy tank forces a breakthrough over here. Our goal then is to take this town, because, you see, we don't share a border with that. Let's say we're France. Our goal is to take Luxembourg, and then from there on, take this tile. Oh, no, sorry, no, it's not. From there on, take this tile. Or these tiles, rather. in order to trap these guys who are in Wallonia and Luxembourg. And to do that, you need to get there before these guys can react and take the tile and reinforce the line and sort of stabilize the line again. And for that, you need speed, and you need a lot of it, which is why light tanks are really, really good. Medium tanks are basically able to serve the same role, but are also better at the breakthrough. So if you're going to go with something like that, you basically end up with light tanks and heavy tanks, and not medium tanks really, until later on when you get closer to modern tanks, I think at least. And that can really work. But again, another problem that you need to address when you're thinking of your army. Sorry for this long digression, by the way. But another thing you also need to address when you're thinking of how to structure your army is, of course, I don't know if it says over here, but there we go, fuel usage. 4.4 fuel usage of a single heavy tank, and a light tank has 2.4 fuel usage. So you're not doubling it, but it's close to doubling the fuel usage of your tank divisions, and so you can't really have that many heavy tank divisions if you don't have a lot of fuel. Right now, I'm only having our submarines exercise, and our submarines will be active at all times, right? Minus 152, or sorry, we have 152 days until we're out of fuel. We are in a situation where we can't really do anything with heavy tanks. And that's understandable, because our situation, resource and industry-wise, is terrible. But even so, for someone like the German Empire, it's also quite untenable. The only thing that they have is this 4 oil. Actually, there's 1 oil there, I didn't know about that. And also they have synthetics that they can use, which also we will be using. But if you're someone like, or if you have these oil fields in Azerbaijan, then yes, you can deal with the fuel, a lack of fuel. Or if you're the United States, in which case you have infinite oil, then you can deal with the lack of or the fuel cost of the using heavy tanks. It's also like an issue with sustained strategic bombing over time and sustained use of a large navy or large fleet, consisting of many large ships, which is something we have as well, I guess. Anyhow, none of these actually give us anything to any doctrine, but I'm going to go with superior firepower, I think, because that's one of my go-to ones for the lower... oh, this is good. For the... actually, I've forgotten which one we're going to go with. Probably royal dictatorship, so we can go down this path and finish everything. Yeah, we need this one before we actually end up in a war. And because this gives us a bunch of specific bonuses to fighting the Commune of France. But we also need the build-up. And this is really good. Synthetic refinery. Just a free synthetic refinery, and resource gain efficiency, and of course the consumer goods factories reduction. Yeah, because we've done all we can on the right side. We're not going to go down either of these quite yet, even though they are probably pretty good. This is just so good, though. Okay, let's go down the ammunition innovations. All these are really good. Let's do ammunition innovations. Let's address our shortages here, which is going to kind of suck. Do we have enough factories to even be making anything with aluminum? Yes, we do. We are making planes now. Sure, let's do that. I did upgrade us to Fighter 1 as well. And rubber, let's get it from German East Asia. No, let's get it from Brazil. And tungsten, let's get that from Portugal. That's gonna hamstring our construction a little bit, but Eid Mubarak. Project nears completion. Our country shall soon be united. Long have we dreamed of this day. Even during some of the darkest days of France's history, her people have been able to persevere and display their resilience to the world. The Trans-Saharan Railway shall be our show of force that the French people are not defeated. The country stands strong. Yes, it's like our Suez Canal. The French army deep into Sahara raid. Wait, what? French attack. Okay, so we attacked a thing. Portugal has joined the Entente. Very good. I'm wondering where we should attack during our initial invasion. I think... So, it is very, very tempting to start our invasion in Iberia, because if we go to war with Communist France, we're going to war with the Iberian Federation because they're part of the Internationale. And by starting in Iberia, we don't actually have to do a naval landing, in which we could potentially lose soldiers. We can instead just, oh my god, you only have one, like, militia militia division. We could instead station a bunch of troops on the Iberian border, and or the Spanish border, or whatever you want to call it, and send them I kind of want to get involved with MacArthur here, actually, to get some experience. But yeah, send them into Spain in order to basically, yeah, avoid all this stuff. We will have to fight through some pretty gnarly terrain in Spain before we get to France, which is a lot of low-lying flat land. Though with plenty of major rivers that are annoying, but Spain is even worse, with a bunch of rivers and a bunch of mountains. I think that's a better deal, honestly, because then we can knock out Spain potentially pretty quickly if they have all their troops up against Germany. And the French also have to travel way further to support their to support that front. I think that might be a good idea, honestly. But I do want to send something over to the Americans. They do seem to be doing well, and we have a bunch of volunteers there. We'll send someone who's like, yeah, who we can actually maintain. We'll send some fairly like unimportant infantry divisions, I think, because we can't actually maintain any other division, I feel like. And we want to send someone who has a chance of gaining traits like this. Yeah, I think so. We could send some of our best guys, actually, in order to... See, Alphonse Jouin is... Yeah, he's the leader of the actual army. Let's send him over. Oh, goddammit. Well... That wasn't my intention at all. And so India declared war on the Dutch East Indies. Okay, the Dutch are having trouble. We're gonna send him the moment he actually arrives. It's gonna take him a while to arrive in America, I suppose, but because I'm afraid there's a lot of militia troops and not actually a lot of like professional troops. So if you can send some extra professional troops, that might help. Usually, I want to send tanks during these volunteer sending things. I may actually also want to send Air Force or like planes, because they might not have many of them. So send volunteers. I can send 35 of our planes, but we can send both, right? Yep, there we go. Volunteers are on their way, and then send air volunteers. There's no like... Does that mean that... See, I forgot how this works. Okay, now I can send the Air Force to the actual spots. Okay, cool. Let's see what's going on. The Steel Belt is where they're actually contested. They're also contested in the Deep South, and I think that's it. Well, they're contested up here as well, but they don't need to be. And the Great Lakes, I guess. So where do we... They don't have a lot of airports nearby. We'll send them to, I guess, Kentucky? We'll help them out in the Deep South against the Union State. Cannot create air wing. There are no airplanes in reserve. Cannot create air wing in the volunteer airbase. We have to create it in our own airbase then and send it over, I'm guessing. What air wings do we have? We need one of 36, right? Ouch. A mission site has been attacked. Let's have a look at our... Yeah, it's fine for now. Let's go down this path for now. Not anticipating a war in 1938. We also have a very, very meager stockpile of everything, which is really, really bad, but we are still building up. So if I now take this and reduce you to a grand total of 36, I can then, I assume, send you over. Yep. Now, how they're getting across the Atlantic, I have no idea. Apparently they're flying, even though that should be impossible with these kinds of planes, but oh well. I'm assuming they have to be transported with convoys. Another burnt out village. Yeah, we'll go after them because it worked last time and I think it's just a chance, but it doesn't tell us a chance, which is kind of strange. Usually the game does that. Like it does tell you what the chances of success are. Huh, why is he here? We'll get a notification whenever we show up in the slave carrier captured. Yeah, it worked. Oh, there we go. They arrived in Maryland. They are led by him, but okay, so he has to be reassigned again. That's a bit annoying. Where do we focus? I think we focus our efforts here, up in Michigan. We want to capture Detroit. Why are their helmets different? I don't know. It's just because, like, the nations have their own sort of helmet designs. Like, we have the French-looking helmet here, and they have the, like, Commonwealth helmets, right? I forget what they're called, but yeah, the more, like, flat-top, like, saucepan-looking ones. Or, not saucepan, like, bowl, like sauce... Or not sauce... soup bowl-looking ones. And then, the Americans have... Apparently what looks like a Stahlhelm-looking one. They should have the round one there at the bottom, you see. When I hover over. A Stahlhelm-looking one might, I guess, imply German aid. Let's send our troops up there. And let's have our planes actually do something. They're apparently not doing too well in Appalachia, but I don't see any enemy planes there. Again, oh, there's a... No, there might. Yeah, we need Illinois to take the airport there. Yeah, let's just go to the deep south. Air superiority. Anything we need? Yep. Fall of Chicago. And the fall of Detroit, simultaneously. Oh man, this bulge is disgusting. Collapse of the American syndicates. Appears that the syndicate's government is on its last legs in the American Civil War. Already most of its... Okay, never mind, we won. Well, wait, did we actually seize equipment during that? I have a tendency to click those away very quickly. No, we didn't. We now, I guess, should go to... Brazil is supporting the Pacific states. Damn. We should go for the south, because we want to take the oil so that MacArthur can use that for his tanks. Maybe we should focus on Florida, actually. Get that done with, so MacArthur doesn't have to be split up. We haven't gained any air experience yet, which I guess means that we haven't actually gotten into any fights in the air. Oops. Accidentally hit the console key. Yeah, why not? We haven't built our first synthetic refinery. We're gonna get one for free, but I don't mind having some extra ones. I'm trying to get some naval experience in order to be able to actually make a destroyer design, because we don't have one at the moment that works, so we can start pumping out destroyers. We're pumping out, or we're going to pump out submarines, but I want to create destroyers as well, because they will function as effective screens for our larger ships. Even though we won't have many of either, I suppose. We also, I think, are going to, let's see, on the Navy again, give this guy a lone wolf, because we are pretty much always going to be fighting a fleet that's bigger than ours. And that gives us, or that increases the enemy fleet size penalty. Also, this is a nice encirclement. The enemy fleet size is... oh, these are actually like... Oh, militia and Minutemen, I guess. Motorized Minutemen are good to capture, but the enemy fleet size is a modifier that is applied to any fleet that is bigger than the one it's fighting. I think it's meant to represent the idea that a smaller fleet has an easier time communicating and coordinating, and so therefore can exploit the difficulties that a larger fleet has in doing so. It has taken forever to get down there. Apparently we're not using strategic redeployment, which is strange. With tensions escalating even further, it's hardly surprising that popular culture in our country would reflect this fact. Indeed, the latest song to top the charts in France is called They Make Excellent Frenchmen, performed by Maurice Chevalier, star of musical comedy and kingpin of French show business. The song lists all the characteristics of a group of soldiers and officers, all coming from different walks of life, all in different occupations, many middle-aged and with families of their own, of different faiths, races, and political opinions, all with their own little ailments. And yet, as the chorus states, all of them make excellent Frenchmen, excellent soldiers. It's a propaganda song. French and Black, the evoluted merchants have to get what's going on here. After all, the evolutes have their French. Oh, okay, so these are so people with like these are not first class but second class citizens, and then I guess the others, the indigenous, are third class citizens. National solidarity. Why are we doing so well for oil right now? I guess it's because we stopped exercising? Did we? I'm assuming it's... they're repairing then. Yeah, they're repairing, that's why. Light tank design is done. Guatemala has joined the People's Vanguard. With El Salvador. They are... Okay, they're all bad people. Pro-Patria Consolidated. These guys are paternal autocrats. Power to one, yeah. How come these guys are slow and this guy was so fast? He's even dug in as well. Which doesn't really matter because we're not necessarily going to be holding. There goes synthetic refineries coming up. It's gonna give us a little bit of rubber, but we still have to trade for most of the rubber. I just want the extra oil because it's going to give us some fuel production. The Knight Monks of Saint Croix. Saint Croix? In the heights above Oran stands a citadel built centuries ago by the Spaniards, a fort of Saint Croix, taken over and restored. After the conquest of Algeria, the fort was until recently a secondary garrison. However, the sleepy citadel has been bustling with activity for the last months. A school is created here by the regime to educate the future elites of the nation. Ah, okay, so this is like a military academy. An innovative 6-month curriculum to shape hundreds of the brightest youths of the nation into leaders worthy of serving France. Yeah, why not? Let's encourage this. Strange, religious, military education. What could go wrong? I've been told not to mess with armored cars because they are a meme. This one does look really cool, though. Let's start doing superior firepower. Russian Empire doing an imperialism. I wonder when they're gonna go after the Don Kubani Union and Azerbaijan, because that's basically where I want to go the moment I get access to foreign policy trees as Russia. Like, I just want to get that oil immediately. Oh, nice. An actual encirclement. At this point, both of the remaining factions do not stand a single chance. Saudi-Omani War, okay. Where's Oman? That's Oman. They don't have a lot of ground. Okay, they can travel across there apparently, but they don't have a lot of ground to fight over. I guess it's a very narrow front line. Now let's get extra resource gain efficiency. I believe that means 36 becomes more because we get more for each one, right? Yeah, we produce 57 steel. State modifier's non-core controller is also reducing it. That's annoying. Cuba has joined the Reichspakt. Ramon Grau San Martin. Or San Martin. The Knights of St. John. The island of Malta, though still a British possession, has been under our control since 1926. Deeply Catholic, the people of Malta were not particularly troubled by the rise of the Action Française and the restoration of the monarchy, though were keen to manage their sensibilities in the immediate aftermath of the coup de force. This is, after all, merely a temporary occupation. And upsetting the Maltese status quo would mean upsetting our allies. However, we've been approached by representatives of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, of Rhodes, and of Malta, better known simply as the Order of Malta. So the Knights of Malta want to help us. Dominion of Canada doesn't like that, but the Papal State does. Let's go. And scouting troop of Muslim boys was created by Muhammad Bourras in 1935, supported by reformist ulemas, traditional elites, and reform-minded Frenchmen, all hoping that scouting would promote physical and moral education, and character building, and a sense of responsibility. So these are like Muslim, as well as duty to Allah and the motherland. So it's kind of like Muslim Boy Scouts, I guess. More like prepared for insurrection ban these groups. No, we're national populists. We love to put the youth into youth groups where they learn military discipline and patriotism. It's our favorite thing. Though I do have to say, sadly, that we're at the end of the episode, so I want to say thank you so much for watching, and of course, as always, anything you might ask for, ask away in the comments. If not, you might find it in the description already, or sometimes you might, like my social media and all that, and the Discord, of course, which I encourage you to check out. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.